Okay, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be taking the ZX10 for its first spin after its total rebuild. Okay, so this is the first ride, and I must say, touch wood, it is running absolutely sublime. Things that I would be a little bit concerned about, I was interested to see what the suspension felt like. Now I got the rear suspension set on number 2, kind of middle of the road. It feels quite nice. It actually feels nicer than my speed triple, which I do find a little firm. The front suspension, like I say, I haven't pushed it to any sort of degree yet, but it does feel nice. You know, remember this is over 30 years old. Say this is just a little shakedown run. I'm not going to be pushing it by any means. Now I did balance the wheels, and if you notice on the video, I was about 11 grams out of balance on both the front and the back. Now I haven't put any weights on, but I do have some, so I'm going to run it first and see what it feels like. And see if 11 grams of balance makes that much difference. Obviously it probably would at higher speeds. Tight roads these ones, so I'm not going to go that fast. As far as the riding position is concerned, it's quite comfortable. A little bit sort of on your wrists, as you would expect out of a sports bike or a sports tourer, I suppose this would be, isn't it? The tyres are brand new, so I'm taking my time until they sort of wear in slightly. Now I've gone for the Michelin roads. I've gone for a Michelin Road 5 on the front, and I've had to have a Michelin Road 3 on the rear. Now that's because they don't make 17-inch, sorry, they don't make 18-inch Road 405s. Now the last tyres on here were nearly 20 years old. I was a bit concerned about having the Road 3 on the back. I thought it might be old stock, but looking at the code, the Road 3 was made late 2019, so you know, it's an up-to-date tyre. How nice does this bike feel? I think this road opens out a little bit more, a bit further up, so I might be able to open the the throttle a bit more, but like I said, I don't want to go mad. There's a few things, I'm expecting to have a few problems, you know. The carburettor, I'll probably need to balance it, although at the moment it feels quite nice, you know. It's not struggling or anything, it's not coughing or spluttering. I did have a few problems when I started it up initially in the garage when I put the back wheel on. I started the bike and tried to work through the gears, and it would only go into first gear. So I let the bike warm up for a little bit, and then it would go up through the rest of the gears, second, third, fourth, but it wouldn't go to second from neutral. So maybe the more I run this in, the better it'll become. If not, I may have to take the clutch slave cylinder apart. Now that's probably the only thing I haven't changed on the bike. And if that's in a similar condition to the master cylinder, that will definitely need cleaning. I did take it apart, but it looked okay, but I didn't actually separate the piston, etc. Can't go too fast around here because you can see there's horses and sheep everywhere. It didn't seem too bothered. Now I am noticing a little bit of numb fingers, especially on the left hand side. Now I used to get a lot of that when I had a 2007 ZX10. Sheep can be a bit of a nuisance. It's not so much the sheep as the lambs, because they're a little bit inexperienced. The sheep don't really care. You can see there now the lamb's going a little bit wonky. So far with the bike, all seems to be good. Beautiful views, lovely day. Now as far as the brakes are concerned, they're okay. The back one you never expect much out of anyway. The front ones are okay. You know, they do the job. I think eventually we're going to have to have new pads in it because these are the old ones. Like I said, I don't know what brand they are. You know, I like to stick to a known brand, and I'll probably change the brake hoses as well. But at the moment they're working, they seem fine. What a lovely day for a spin. Wind turbines. Don't know whether I like them or not. They seem a bit sort of War of the Worlds, if you ask me. Not saying they're ugly. Now, one thing I'm going to have to address, I got a little bit of a rattle in the front. I think it's the mudguard. I think somebody had repaired it, and in the garage I think I've bumped into it more than once, and I think I've cracked the repair, so it's going to need another look at. A little bit more filler or something. As far as this little shakedown test is concerned, I think the bike is running absolutely superb. As I'm trying not to push it. I find the rear brake on this bike much better than it is on my Speed Triple. I find it's a little bit far back and you've really got to take your foot up in the air and lift it backward slightly. Kind of hurts the hip a little bit. This one seems to be in more or less the correct position. Like I say, these tyres are absolutely stunning. I think a new set of tyres on any bike sort of changes it, it transforms it. I'm really impressed with the way the bike's handling. Nice bend, nice tyres. I remember coming around that corner once and there was a van reversing up here and I was coming around it a little bit on the sharp side, so I'm always a bit cautious now. Of course the speed bumps are always a test of the suspension. Feels good. Okay, so I wasn't going to go on the motorway, but I feel such confidence in this bike. I also want to see if the unbalanced wheels make a difference, and they feel actually fine. I'm doing 75, sorry 70. Not sure if you can hear me much, quite a bit of wind noise. The bike feels absolutely rock solid. As far as the suspension is concerned, it feels quite nice at these speeds. Like I say, you can play around with the rear shock. I don't know what difference it's going to make. I find my speed triple on these stripy yellow lines almost bucks you out of the seat because it's very, very firm. No, it's not nice on this, but it's a lot better. I'm really surprised at how smooth the fueling is on this bike. I expected it to be a bit snatchy, especially at low speeds like this, you know. Coming out these corners, can get a bit snatchy. Very, very smooth. I was expecting the first thing I was going to have to do after my first outing was to be taking the carbs apart. But in all fairness, it's absolutely superb. We're currently in a town called Brenaman, I think. I think this is where the stereophonics come from. Oh, I might be wrong. Brave cat. Come on. If you decide to come from a little bike trip into Wales, I'm not sure what road number this is, I'll check, I'll put it up on the screen. I think this is known as the Black Mountain. Got a few sheep around here, so be careful. I'm always wary of the sheep. I did have one run out of me once at about 80 miles an hour. It just missed me, or I just missed it. I'll see if I can find the video for that, it's quite entertaining. Frightened the shit out of me. What I do like about bikes of this era is there's nothing much to think about as far as the dashboard is concerned. There's nothing going on, there's no modes to play with, there's no lights flashing. do get a light flashing, it's normally a problem. I've noticed that the temperature gauge won't come out of cold, but it's running fine. It's not in the hot. It does go up when I leave the bike running, as you've probably seen in some of the other videos, so it's working perfectly well. Perhaps this type of bike just runs cool. I do notice with the throttle though that obviously this has got cables, and my other bike is ride-by-wire. Is it called ride-by-wire or fly-by-wire? Ride-by-wire, I think. So there's no cables, so you're not actually pulling against anything, which it is quite noticeable actually. Nice bit of road this. Apparently they do shoot a lot of, or they used to shoot a lot of Top Gear programs up here. Again, quite a popular biking road this one. Takes you into Llandovery. On the left hand side here you have a popular bikers cafe called the Owl's Nest. Now on the left here you got the West End Cafe, which is probably a more popular biking stop. Okay, now we're heading up towards what's called the Cree Reservoir. In this direction we're going from the Cree towards Swansea. Now in my opinion they've ruined this road. If you look on the other side, they've patched it up by putting new waterworks in or whatever they've done. And it's dreadful to ride on. So if you are going to do this road, from the Cree to Swansea is better than Swansea to the Cree. There as well, but it's not as bad as the other side of the road. You're going to see more of it now in a second on the other side. So going up towards the Cree and down from the Cree, it's really, really unpleasant riding. You either ride on the repair or you ride in the middle of the road and put yourself into a slightly awkward position. Yeah, there's the repair all the way up. On the right hand side here you have Dannerogoff Show Caves. Quite a nice day out. That's the end of this video, and it's also the end of the ZX10 project. There will be other maintenance videos as I take care of other things on the bike, like brake hoses and new brake pads at some point. If you like that video, hit like and subscribe to the channel.